All right, let's get into it. NFL award winners so far.
All right.
10 weeks into the season.
If the season ended today, huh?
Let's start with Offensive Player of the Year. Who you got?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't even think it's close. I mean, I think the MVP of the league is on his team. But, but I think Derrick Henry, with what he's doing, how he, certain players go to certain teams, and you think, even though Derrick Henry was in Tennessee forever, the second he put on that Ravens uniform and started trucking cats, I'm like, he's a Raven. Like, he plays like a Raven. He looks like a Raven. Oh, yeah. He is the perfect fit. I almost wish, as great as he was in Tennessee, I wish he had been a Raven the whole time. Because this guy, he embodies everything that franchise is about. I think he's having a good enough season to win an MVP, but two things are working against him. A, he's a running back, and it doesn't really happen anymore. And then B, the best player on planet Earth is his teammate. So the best thing you can do is give him Offensive Player of the Year and say, thanks for playing, man. Because he's not going to get MVP, even though he looks like one.
I think Saquon Barkley should be in this convo as well. Mm-hmm. He's on pace for his first 2,000 scrimmage yard season since his rookie year. And this is in an offense with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts. He's averaging almost 6 yards per carry. He has 8 total touchdowns, and 58% of his rushing yards are after contact.
Yep.
He's a straw that stirs the Eagles' offense's drink.
Yep.
I think that is so important. He's a game changer. He's had really bad plays that have decided outcomes of games and put him in jeopardy of losing teams like the Jaguars. But I think Saquon Barkley needs to be in this conversation as well. What about defensive player?
I'm going to go T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
And T.J. Watt has had more prolific seasons than he is now statistically, but his impact on the games is what stands out to me. I mean, it's not even so much the sacks. He is getting those, but it's these damn forced fumbles and these strip sacks. And, I mean, this guy is just like his brother. I mean, TJ's been this way his whole career too, but this guy is a menace to an offensive game plan. And you look at how the Steelers are winning right now with defense, running the ball, Russ not crashing the cars we talked about.
It's a defense.
It is the defense. Yeah. It always is. The defense is a calling card there in Pittsburgh. And, by the way, not for nothing, I mean, you look right now at the standings, outside of Kansas City in the AFC, I mean, these guys could mess around and be in play for the first seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the best defender on the best defensive team, it's going to be you, T.J. Watt. So that's my pick.
Mike Tomlin, 4-1 to win Coach of the Year. He's the favorite. I think he should.
I think he should, too.
I'm going to take that. For once, I'll do it once you're talking again. I'll take it after the show.
Bro, you bet so much during this show.
Well, I look up the number, then I see it at 4-1. Yeah, and that's a bad number.
You're so fast,
I'm interested
too.
to see what it was before the season, but it's still 4-1.
You're so fast.
And I'll take 4-1.
You fire them off, bro.
You know what? Maybe it gives you some time to think. My defensive player of the year actually is Trey Hendrickson. And he's not one of the worst defenses in the league.
Yeah.
But leads the NFL with 11 sacks, leads them in pressures with 17. In pressures with over 50. Next closest on his team is 2 sacks, player-wise. Pressures is 17. He's second in pass rush win rate behind Myles Garrett. But he has nothing else around him. Mm-hmm. T.J. Watt has an Alex Highsmith, a Nick Herbig, now a Preston Smith. This defense is terrible, and Trey Hendrickson is still winning like this. He won't win the award. I think T.J. Watt gets it. But he should be in the conversation for what he's doing.
Okay.
Now, the fun one is Rookie of the Year talk. Let's start offensively.
I'm upset about this because after draft night, I made a bet on Caleb Williams to win Rookie of the Year, and I thought it was going to be easy money. And it turns out I was wrong. This Jayden Daniels kid in Washington. Look, I still think long-term Caleb's going to be the best out of this young crop, although Michael Penix has a really nice setup. But this Jayden Daniels guy, I don't know how he doesn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think it's already over. And I love what Drake May's doing. I think Caleb can turn it around. He's shown flashes of he doesn't look like a bust. But Jayden Daniels has been the most consistent one. And I've defended Bo Nix. He ain't winning it either. Jayden Daniels has been the most consistent and the most dynamic rookie quarterback out of them all. He's Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think it's already over.
It should be Jayden Daniels.
He's already done enough.
And it will.
Yeah.
And it will.
He's already done enough.
I took Mike Tomlin 4-1, and then I sprinkled Dan Quinn 5-1.
Yep.
Because if either of those teams win their division, well, really, I mean, Steelers could. It's a really hard division because of the Ravens. But if the Commanders do, I think Dan Quinn gets it. So I agree with you, the Jayden Daniels convo, and I'm not going to take away from Jayden Daniels. Brock Bowers is second in receptions for tight ends, behind only Travis Kelce by 3. He's first in the NFL in receiving yards by tight ends. And he's 7th overall in the NFL in receptions, ahead of an Amon-Ra St. Brown, a Justin Jefferson, and a Zay Flowers. Brock Bowers has been that offense. Bad team, always losing, getting a lot of volume. But a guy coming out, where also, like, I put him in with tight ends. No, he is a Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
He's a over the middle, a seam attacker, short yardage, but does a lot. Brock Bowers is absolutely outstanding for the Raiders. They went with best available, and let's see what they can do. I don't have a lot of belief in that franchise.
Sure.
But they got a gem where everyone's going, what are you doing? You just went best available. It's working out for them because they have no pass catchers now because they don't have Devontae Adams.
That's right.
And they need that. What about defensive rookie of the year?
Yeah, I mean, when they get an actual quarterback, he's going to be really good.
We'll see.
I'm going to go Jared Verse here. You know, I was high on him in the draft. And the only reason I was high on him in the draft is because this was before Florida State stunk like they do now, when they were undefeated and they didn't get a chance to make the playoff and all that. Jared Verse was dominating games.
Yeah.
I watched this kid.
He was your favorite rookie.
Oh, my God. I watched him take over games in college, and I never forgot. I said, whoever drafts that kid in the NFL is got a winner. I thought going back to draft night, I thought the Bears should have taken him instead of Rome Odunze.
Sure, taking a tackle.
But, well, right. Now, in hindsight, neither, right? But this Jared Verse kid, when he went to the Rams, I said, oh, my God, they got a great one because, you know, obviously Aaron Donald's gone now. They're trying to look for a pass rush. He has 4.5 sacks, and he has, not to the level he did in college, but he has had a handful of games this season that he's taken over for the Rams.
You know, and him or his boy from Florida State, Braden Fisk, could be rookie of the year.
Yeah, he's good
Jared
too.
Verse has been a beast. Real quick on the Rams, I love what they did because you lose Aaron Donald, and they double down,
Smart.
Braden Fisk and Jared Verse.
Yep.
You win at the line of scrimmage.
Smart.
They have both guys under cost control.
Yep.
And with Jared Verse, what would have been for the Bears is smart when Montez Sweat eventually leaves.
That's
you have
what I
Jared
was
Verse.
thinking, yes.
For our boy, Donovan Ezeraku, the New York Giants.
Ooh.
So they have Brian Burns, they have Sexy Dex, but Kayvon Thibodeau's contract's coming up. You get a Donovan Ezeraku, and that's under cost control, a do-everything guy on the edge.
Hate it.
He will develop into an every-down guy. He's a great pick, though.
I don't hate
They're going to
it.
go quarterback in the first, Cam Ward, Shador Sanders.
Yep.
They should go Donovan Ezeraku. They need help on the D-line. They need help in the passing attack, too.
Yeah.
And, again, if you head over to Rush, we're talking wide receivers. They can find a gem later in the draft to play off of Malik Neighbors. My defensive rookie of the year is Kenyon Mitchell with the Eagles.
I like him.
In 10 games, he's only had 40 passes go his way. That says everything you need to know about shutting down that side of the field. When targeting his side of the field, opposing quarterback's QBR is 52. Middle or opposite of him, they're letting up a top 10 pace of QBR. His last 5 games, no receivers top 25 yards on him.
Wow.
And in 334 pass coverage snaps, 3 penalties.
Wow.
Tells you everything you need to know about him as a corner.
You need to know.
Verse has been so dominant, though, and he's been a difference maker. I like Verse, but Kenyon Mitchell in the convo. All right. MVP. This will probably... Well, we were together on Jayden Daniels, but I gave Brock Bowers. MVP, Lamar.
Want to do it at the same time? 1, 2, 3. Lamar Jackson.
I messed that up.
Yeah, you did mess it up.
Lamar. I'm an idiot.
It's Lamar.
Yep.
I mean, do we even need to explain? It's Lamar. You would think there'd be MVP fatigue surrounding him.
Shouldn't.
Nope. Just like Nikola Jokic in the NBA. Like, he's going to get another MVP? Yep. He's the best player on the planet. Lamar is the best player on planet Earth. He is making it look easier than ever. He's unbelievable. And the only thing I'm trying to hold myself from doing that I've done in years past is say this is finally his time, because I've done that already 2 or 3 times now where I'm like, this is Lamar's time.
I'm giving you crap for that.
I
Don't
know.
give me that.
So I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to keep it individual. Lamar's the MVP. We'll see when we get to the playoffs if the Ravens actually show up and if he shows up, because he hasn't been great either.
10 games in, the Ravens have 3 losses. Blew a lead against the Raiders.
That's right.
Could have beaten the Chiefs.
Yep.
Should have beaten the Browns if Kyle Hamilton, one of the best defensive players in the league, hauls down that interception.
Yep.
But over the course of these 10 games, Lamar won MVP last year. Through 10 games, 15 touchdowns, 11 turnovers, 265 total yards per game, and they were 7-3.
Wow.
2024, 26 total touchdowns, 6 turnovers, 321 yards per game, 5.9 yards per rush, and they're 7-3. He won MVP last year. There's no way he doesn't win MVP this year.
Yeah.
He should not win MVP.
He will.
He's the best player in football right now, the most dominant, makes the biggest difference.
Yeah.
And how bad that defense is, they're 7-3 because of him.
Absolutely.